Hey, how's it going today? And I'm going to show you how to create this sit to stand to sit functionality. And this is something that's just real useful. This is just based off of an animation montage. And what we're going to do is get something that looks like this. We come in here and we walk over here by this box and we press E and we sit down and we press E and we get up and off we go. So it's just a sit to stand functionality, that up and down. And this box is actually, I can't go over it, so there's no overlap there. So this is a really, if you get this system down, you can do any other animation montage too with this basic interaction kind of system. So I'll be back in just a little bit. I need to let you know this is a little bit longer tutorial than usual. And the other thing too is that you'll need to have a sitting animation in place. So these are the UE. These were originally Mixamo animations that have been imported. They originally came in as UE4s, and then they were retargeted to UE5 mannequins. So you'll need to get, these are the two of the sitting animations from Mixamo. So you'll need to have those ready to go. And I did a tutorial already about this, and I have the link to those videos in the description. But you should have a library of these animations anyway. So Mixamo is a really great way to build up a library of animations such as these. So anyway, I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, so to get started on this, I just imported the sitting animation here, and it's right there, and it looks pretty good. And with the sitting idle animation selected, I'm going to hit save. I guess I gotta hit save all, and I'm gonna right click and I'm gonna go create animation montage. So then I have a montage, and basically all we're doing is creating a trigger box and a keyboard press that allows us to start and stop the montage. But then we have to use the move to component to properly orientate our player character. And so there's a lot of little tweaks that we have to do, and this isn't a perfect system, but I think it's pretty close to perfect, but it's not 100% perfect. So if I hit play right now, there's our character just sitting there. Okay, and here right now this is just a stand-in. We're going to get rid of that eventually here pretty quick. So the first thing I want to do is I've got our sitting animation and I've converted it to a montage, and now I'm going to go ahead and come up here to modeling, and I'm going to go to box, and I'm going to get a box. And I've done this already quite a few times, so I know that the height is going to be 46. And then all I'm going to do is just position this. But it's just for reference right now. We're going to get rid of both of these things. But that's just to show our box. And then I'll go accept. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to search for this box that we just made. And I'll search for box. And it should be here, right here. You'll see a box with this, all these numbers behind, after it, letters and digits behind it. And I'm going to hit F2 and I'm just going to call it box 2. Okay, and then there is that. So, and actually I don't need these in the scene right now, but I'm going to turn off all the snapping too, because you don't have that good of control with the snapping on. Alright, so we're going to get started with this. The first thing we're going to do is come into the main content folder here, and we're going to right click and create a blueprint class, an actor, and I'm just going to call this BP parent, and this will be our trigger box. And so we're going to need to get a box collision here, box collision here, and then we're going to get a text renderer right here. And then on the box, we can go ahead and thicken up those lines so we can see a little bit better. And then on the text renderer, we're going to set the horizontal alignment to center, and then we're going to pull this up kind of high in the air like that. And we're just going to say press E, press E to sit. And there is that. And that's all. We'll compile and save this. And now we're just going to do add our main functionalities here. So with the box selected, we're going to go to on component begin overlap here. And we are going to cast to, I can close that window there. We're going to cast to our blueprint third person. So cast to BP third person. And this is basically just to make sure that only our third person character can interact with the box and control the sitting function. That's all that's doing right there. And then because we're in our own blueprint and we're not in the third person blueprint, we've got to enable input so our keyboard press will work. So we'll go enable input here like that. And then we'll have to get our player controller. Get player controller and pop that into there. That's good. And next we're going to just basically toggle off and on our visibility of our text renderer. And there's many different ways you can do this. This is just the way I'm doing it. If you find a way that works better for you, then feel free to go ahead and do it that way. But we're going to set visibility here. We're going to turn the visibility on. And then we're going to have a slight delay. We'll have it be on the screen for just 2 seconds, let's say. 2 seconds. And then I'll just Control D to copy this. And then we turn our visibility off. This is just for our instructions to the player to press E to. And then what we're going to have to do is come into the viewport on the text renderer. And I guess I do need to have my details panel here. I need to search for visibility and turn it off, and we won't be able to see it anymore. So when the player triggers the box, it's going to appear for 2 seconds and then come off. And it's just the player's instructions. That's all that is. Okay, and now we're going to add our keyboard press functionality. And this is if we just press the letter E, that's what triggers our player to sit down. So I'm going to right click and go keyboard E. That's not it. Let's see. Let's right click again. Keyboard E. Right here. I'll press down B and left click, and we're going to do a branch node, and we're going to just basically, we're going to create a variable here, and it's call it on triggered. It's a boolean, and compile and save that, and we'll go ahead and get that and plug that in there. And then we're going to create 2 events, a custom event. So we're going to go add custom event, and this is going to be start montage, and right click and get another event, add, and this is going to be stop montage, and that's it. And then if you press Alt and left click and drag this, that'll be our set nodes. So we're going to set these. And this one we're going to set start montage. We're going to set it to true. And this one will be set to false. And then here we're going to call. So this is basically just our toggle switch. So stop montage. Here we're going to call when we press, and then here start montage, right, like that. And that basically completes our parent functionality. And the beauty of doing it this way is that if we create a child blueprint class out of this, then we can create other children based on this parent functionality, so we don't have to keep rebuilding this every time. So we can incorporate this functionality into other children blueprints that we make. So maybe I have a functionality for the person to lay down, sit down, all different kinds of things. So this just gives us a lot of flexibility. And that's all we have to do with this. So now with this selected, we can go create child blueprint, and I'm just going to call this BP sit down, and we'll double click into here. And this is where most of our work will take place. This is there's quite a few things to do here, quite a bit of work we have to do still. I'll try to go as fast as I can. So anyway, static mesh is what we're going to need here. And this is not a child of the box. And we're going to search for our box 2. Box 2 right here. And there's our static mesh, our box right there. And the one thing is, make sure of your orientations here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this trigger box up and out. I'll hit the space bar and we're going to expand it out here. And it's important not to lose your orientation on this, of where you are exactly, because things can get kind of weird if this gets messed up. So we see that red arrow here is facing forward, and then on the trigger box the red arrows. And then since we're here and I know we're going to need to do this, we're going to go ahead and add a scene component, and this is going to I don't want this as a child of anything. The scene component is going to be our reference point to where we want the player character to move to later. So we'll put that right there. And we may have to adjust some of this stuff a little bit later, but we'll see. But everything's pointing in the same direction. So that's that. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and create the main functionality of this whole thing. And I already know from kind of experience doing this that there's going to be some tweaks that we have to make, so we'll just kind of deal with them as we go. But there's like 3 or 4 different things that we've got to adjust. We have to scale the box, we have to bypass something on the animation blueprint and stuff like that. But we'll go ahead and just do this part first, and then we'll go do the tweaks then. So now I can go over into the event graph here, and I'm going to come down here and I'm going to call that event start montage right here. Right click, and we're going to add our parent call there, and that goes in there. And now we're going to cast to our blueprint third person. So cast to BP third person right here, and we're going to get our player character right there. We're going to have to do this a couple times where we're casting to the BP third person. And now here's really the main thing, is we're going to drag off of here and go play anim montage right here. And our montage is our sitting, and the target is going to be our BP third person player character. And that's basically the core functionality right there. Now, since I'm here and I've got this part going, I'm going to go ahead and do the stop. So I'm going to right click and go event stop montage here. And then I'm going to do the parent function call to stop the montage. And then off of here, I'm going to cast to BP third person player character. Keep going here, and this is going to stop our anim montage. Stop anim montage, and this is our montage here, and there is our player character there. So this is our core functionality of the whole thing. That's basically what we're doing. And so I don't need this anymore, and I don't need this box anymore. And now I can just drag this onto the scene. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rotate it 90 degrees here. And if I hit play, you see our press E to sit, E, and you see we have our basic functionality working here, but there's a few things wrong. There's his orientation is wrong, his posture is wrong, and so we have to just do tweaks to fix all these different things that are wrong. Like, let's just take care of some of these right away. So notice how his feet are off the ground there. So what we're going to do there is we're just going to fix that. Let's go into the BP third person blueprint here. And on the location where it says negative 89, just because I know I've done this a few times, I know it needs to be negative 93. And we'll go play. And now you see his feet are on the ground. So that's good. That takes care of that. And then he's in this weird posture. He's not in his sitting posture, and that's because the control rig is overriding it. So what we're going to do there is we've got to go into our... And this was part where it's kind of a hack. And I'm sure I'm researching how we can, fix this. But if we go into the anim graph, what we're going to do is just bypass this is falling. So let me just select these and just get these out of the way. And we'll compile and save it. And I'm sure there's some logic that we could build in there to fix that. So now if you watch, he's walking here. He comes up. And now he's sitting, but then we've got issues where he's not in the right orientation. And he's going into the box, and also some other weird stuff's going on there. So that's what we're going to take care of right now. Okay, so we'll go back into our BP sit down and fix all those orientation problems. And there's a little bit to do here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and select these and go Control D because I need to cast again. And I'm going to get Control D because I know I need to do it again too. So we are going to cast to our BP third person here. And now we're basically going to be using the move to component to properly orientate our character. So here to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to need to get a root component here. Get root component. We're going to drag up here and get capsule component. Get the capsule component. And then we're going to get actor location. Right there. And off of the capsule, we're going to get the capsule half height. So search for capsule, this one right here. And then we're going to add these values. So we're going to drag off of here and go add operator. And then we're going to split this struct here and put this into there. And now we'll get our move to component here. So right click and go move to component. Move to component, move component 2, I should say. And this just goes into move. And our root component is our component. And then the target relative location goes in here. And then to get our actor rotation, we're going to right click and go get actor rotation here. And we have to split this struct here. And we have to split this struct here. Oops. Need to do that. Right click here and put our yaw into our yaw there. And we can click on ease in, ease out there. And then we need to set our capsule. So if we come back here on the static mesh and we search for collision, because you'll notice we were standing inside the box, we're going to just change this to block all. And then we're going to cast to our BP third person again. Cast to BP third person character. And get player character. Whoops, player character right there. And pop this into there like that. And then here, all we're going to do here is drag off of here and get our capsule component. Get capsule component. And set the collision as no collision. Set collision enabled. And have it as no collision. So that we can... And that, as far as I know, is it. That's all we have to do for that one. Okay, and now we're going to finish up over here, and it's kind of the same thing all over again. We're going to come down here on our stop, plug this in here like that. I might have to pull this down a little bit. I'm kind of running out of some space here. So we're kind of doing the same thing all over again. We're going to get the drag off of here and get the root component. Drag off, get capsule component. And here we're going to drag off and get actor rotation. Here our actor rotation. And there's all those. And then we want to get this, our scene component, and get the world location of that. So get world location for that. And off of our capsule, again, we want to get our capsule half height. So search for half height. Half height. And off of here, we are going to add. So add right there. And we want to split this. I think we want to split this, right? Hold on just 1 second. That's what I wanted, right? Oh, I think I got to pull off of here. Let me pull off of here, add. Sorry about that. Add operator here and split it here. There we go. And so off our capsule component, that's going to go into our Z here. There we go. And so let me just double check I got this right. Scene component, world location, add capsule component because of Z. Yeah, that looks right. And then we're going to get our move to component. Get move to component, or move to component. Move to component. And again, it's similar to what we just did. So this comes in over here. And we have our get actor rotation is, I guess I can move this up here a little bit more. So the get actor rotation is going to go into relative rotation. And our root component is our component. So that goes in there. And we can check ease in, ease out. And then this goes in here like that. And that is it. That should be it. And the last thing we need to do is just reset our... So I can actually just... Let me just select these up here and go Control D and drag this down here. And we'll just pop this into there. And we're just going to set the to collision enabled. when we end it. And as far as I can tell, I think that's everything. So we'll compile and save and come in here and see if it works. Yeah, so the only issue now, yeah, see, that works pretty well. This works pretty well compared to other ones that I've seen. The only issue now is the box is he shouldn't be in the box like that. I don't know why he's in the box. So what I'm going to do here is on the box, with the box selected, I'm going to just scale that down here. And let's just see if that works. It's kind of cool because now he shouldn't be in the box. I don't know why it's doing that. So he shouldn't be in the box. So he sits fine, he gets up fine, he goes off fine. Yeah, so I don't know. It seems like it's working. Sits, gets up, and he goes. Yeah. So I think that's it. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, the reason why this is so handy is that you can use this to create then character animations where you have this character in the world, he's like walking around and doing all different kinds of things. And let's say he comes over here and he wants to sit, and then he can sit down and then get up, and then he goes off doing other things. So it's just a way to animate your character in a kind of a really cool way. Yeah, so I think it's working fine right now. Yep. So anyway, I hope you found this helpful. Take care and have a great day.